It was absolutely wonderful, and I did a post on where it was supporting artists and showing new art coming to Margate. This year is going to be their second year, and they've got loads and loads of artists, over 100 showing, exhibiting and events going on from Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to be doing a roundup of what my highlights were of the first day of Friday, and let's have a look together.
This piece by Kadir Karaba is great to welcome you when you come into Margate. It is actually a response to the flags that we've seen going around, and this is a more positive approach, which I just love about Margate. This is a nice little pit stop. You can get food and a drink, especially if it's a windy day, and it's right opposite the station and the perfect way to start off season, seeing this positive piece that says a lot about the area and the arts. And moving on to Rousa Tullivos from Margate Arts Club, she draws on the title of Sheila Hetty's writing on motherhood and identity, embracing the whole idea of generative space. She's done a lot of work, and the title says not eggs, and I let you leave it to imagination. I got a very Louise Bourgeois vibe from this piece and from the room, and I'm not sure if that was intention, but I thoroughly enjoyed it for it. And I would definitely say, if you pass in here, do have a pit stop where it's got sound and light to play with this as well. And then going on to Sita, the restaurant, this made me stop my tracks. I looked at this wonderful piece, which was this dining piece going on and the ceramics, and it was absolutely beautiful. And it's by Lily and Johnny Hughes. They both are a couple and made this wonderful display, which just, as I said, stopped me in my tracks. And I was on my way to one venue, and I stumbled across this, which was just show-stopping, and it was incredible. Both pieces, they're both by completely different artists. The Pink Tank is by Katie Parker, and the actual other piece is by Kit Griffiths, who both are spectacular in their own rights. Kit Griffiths' work was very personal, very pure, and actually brought me to tears reading it and looking at it, so much so that actually they gave me their catalogue and I had a look at the story of their previous show and how it's gone, and that was some of my highlights. This with the actual tank I loved, then followed by another one of Kit's work, which I loved that piece above. This was a writing about the obsession and love of somebody, writing in the middle of the night over and over again at this brew. Why the piece above was why they was actually looking at the ceiling, and that's the actual ceiling view with the words. So definitely worth going to visit them and having a look. I would highly recommend both of them artists. What a showstopper. And then the next stop was Mercedes Lucy, this wonderful feminist piece made out of tiles, which will be a permanent public exhibition. I loved their work before when I've seen them, and I'm really happy that I got a piece in the Tears Summer Fair. And this Turner's female contemporaries of the period. If you read the steps as you go up, I felt very naughty walking up somebody's steps, but I really wanted to read the story. I definitely would say feel free to pause this while I was actually, so you could actually have a look at the major steps. Apologies about my finger getting in the way there. It was that somebody just came approached and wanted to actually talk to me, so therefore I kind of got caught in. But here you go. These are small steps to acknowledging the labour of women made. Women have been judged, discussed, denied because of a gender. These women shaped us in their stories and largely unrecorded. Most of British connected to Margate and Kent, some from around the world. Just what a wonderful piece. The amount of work that's gone into it, I can't even imagine, and the positive message I just think is so inspirational, and I was so honoured just to sneakily walk on these steps. Maybe I was allowed, but I felt very naughty doing it. So this work looked very familiar and very beautiful, and I realised it's Christine Healey's work, who I do really adore, who does this kind of vintage pin-up swimmer vibe and on these postcard styles, and they're just so romantic, soft and beautiful. So this is the next show, Ordinary Ghosts. It was a lovely surprise walking down the road and seeing that picture by Anderson, first of all. And Ordinary Ghosts is a show which features Brogan Bertie as well as Anderson Astekleins and also artist Cassie Walsh. The three of them have done this beautiful show that actually each one of them is so individually unique, and yet their work ties together and it's curated so beautifully. I would say this was one of my tops of the day as well to see, and I really just loved the coziness of being in the actual homely setting and the works themselves. This piece by Anderson was just so beautiful, and then this piece by Cassie, which was based on insomnia, and this piece by Brogan Bertie I did love, but also I giggled because I'm just so distracted by that beautiful kitty, and I do love cats. The textures of all three of their works, as you can see, Anderson a moment ago, then there was Cassie's, and this is Brogan's. They all apply the paint so differently and so wonderfully, and it's such a joy for your eyes. I videoed every piece and tried to resist putting every piece in, and I was pretty close, but I recommend you must see this. And then going to the Quench Gallery, where there was a couple of shows on the opening. One, Call Me When You Reach, and the other one, Pillow Talk. This is Call Me When You Reach, and it really hit me. I spent those minutes watching it and came out just needing a moment to pause. I really would recommend watching this. The next piece is Pillow Talk, and the work of these ceramics and metal just really just made my skin go ugh, in the most fantastical way. It was like a haunted Louise Bourgeois / Tim Burton. I just adored it, like this little bat here, which I found actually really cute. I'm not sure if that was the intention. And looking at the actual bones and the actual threading through the actual spinal cord, and then this altar here. So Pillow Talk and Call Me, as I just Call Me When You Reach. Now we are going on to Gathering Hands, which is another show which I really just loved, from actually Margate Arts Club, and that had one of the artists on it as well, Ellie Graham, who I just showed you an illustration of. And I'm speaking so slowly and the video is going ahead, but we now on to Lindsey Mendick with All You Need Is Love, and this beautiful collection of mice doing a jewellery heist, and it makes me want to look at the jewellery, it makes me want to look at the pieces they had, from mice stealing jewellery, mice that looks like Donald Trump. You need to go and have a look at that. I will not even show you yet, you need to actually double check and see that yourself. It's so fantastic. And then finally ending my roundup on Silly, where they did an ode to the Simpsons. So I forgot this character's name, but him just staring at the clouds. In the clouds is hidden little figures like Maggie. Just love Maggie. She's one of my favourites after the Treehouse of Horror, when she was an alien, if you've ever seen that episode. And then looking at Ralph as a light. Going on to Sideshow Bob in a moment, which is just fantastic. You walk in the shop, it's life size as your head. He rotates around and he has the most sinister, creepy stare. It actually needs to be seen in real life. All of these things do. I highly recommend. Day one of Offseason was wonderful. It was too much to see, which is a good thing to be. And go and have a look today, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.